What's up, guys? Adam here, Anabolic Climbing, and on one of my last videos I had someone reach out and say, hey, do you think MK677 would be good for rock climbers? And I think that's worth starting a larger conversation, not just around MK677, but growth hormone in general, and see if that is appropriately applicable for rock climbing. And for the most part, I would say no, with one or two exceptions. Before we get into it, and I can do a deeper dive into GH if you guys want. I want to keep both this and MK677 relatively short. And that's because the main issue with both of them, and I'll go into more detail on this, is water retention. If we are going to add another 5 or 10 pounds of water to our climbing loads, that's both deleterious to our climbing performance as well as putting more stress on our ligaments, tendons. Carpal tunnel is a known outcome with high growth GH. In addition to that, you could potentially see growth in hands, feet, nose, brow in higher doses as well. You're essentially trying to induce acromegaly, which, you know, if you want a bigger nose, God bless, I'm not here to judge you. But does that make sense for a boulder or lead climber? And the answer is probably not. If you do decide to go the growth hormone route, you will need to test your blood glucose levels daily. Definitely take it at night. It works way better subcutaneously versus intramuscularly. You get better absorption, and you get better absorption, and it's just a more efficient mechanism. Going into MK677 specifically, now that we covered GH briefly, the main issue is it's a ghrelin agonist. And ghrelin is a hunger hormone, so, you know, if you were a bodybuilder trying the bulk and you didn't mind dealing with the spikes in blood glucose levels, and sure, it's a great way to gain more calories in your system, particularly for hard gainers or guys with bad appetites. We are fighting the scale, and we are not bodybuilders. So, you know, even if you were looking at MK677 to say, hey, it's cheaper than growth hormone, I could probably get the equivalent of 1 to 2 IUs for way cheaper. Does it make sense? You will sleep better. You will recover better. You might get a little bit groggy, but, and this is a huge but, you're going to have to not... While growth hormone potentially does have positive outcomes to lipolysis and fat loss, when you're agonizing the ghrelin receptor, what you're really doing is making yourself super hungry. And if you watch More Plates, More Dates' video on MK677, he destroyed his diet because he was flippin' starving. Could you stack this potentially with a GLP-1 agonist? I don't even want to know what that would do, because you're basically taking an antagonist and an agonist to the same receptor and seeing which one would win. That sounds foolish, but if you want to test it and report back, I mean, God bless. In general, I don't think the water retention or with the GH or potentially the MK677 and the increased appetite, I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze. On the other hand, let's say you're a crack climber, and we have shown that guys with bigger hands have way better times with off widths and with hand jams. Then, yeah, if you don't mind dealing with the increased size of the brow or the increased size of the nose and you want to get some bigger hands, that is a route you could potentially take. You could start at 1 IU of growth hormone, ramp your way up to 2, 3, and then up to 6 if you wanted to. And yeah, you could probably grow your hands, and that would be an outcome you could do. I would say monitor your electrolytes, take your taurine, monitor your blood glucose levels incredibly closely to make sure that the water retention isn't too bad and you don't exacerbate any potential carpal tunnel. And really proceed with caution. Make sure that the water retention isn't really adversely impacting your climbing performance. But in that specific context, that's a thing that you could potentially do. Would I personally run GH? I'm super on the fence on it right now. Would running 1 or 2 IUs before bed to improve sleep quality, skin appearance, stuff like that for anti-aging, I'm curious about it. I am not necessarily sure I'm trying to speedrun acromegaly. That said, it's a bioidentical hormone, which it definitely has going for it. So if you can tolerate it and you could basically run it in like an off climbing season context, maybe, but that's stretching it. If you do run growth hormone as a climber and you want to circle back with me on your reaction to it, please let me know. I would be super fascinated. But that's sort of my really quick breakdown on both growth hormone and MK677. I would put MK677 certainly in the no category, GH in the probably no category for most cases. But if you have had that experience, please let me know. Obviously, the only scenario where you would run growth hormone is in the event that you had a delayed puberty to spur down the onset of puberty, in which case you're getting pharmaceutical grade growth hormone, and God bless. I know someone in that position who has not had any water retention issues, but running growth hormone, or rather running pharmaceutical grade growth hormone could run you anywhere from like $20 to $60 a day. So good luck with that. Either way, appreciate you guys taking some time. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any compounds you want me to review, please leave them down in the comments below. There were some questions on ostarine, which is going to be one of my next videos. Also, next up on the agenda, we have testosterone, masteron, primobolan, and trenbolone. So if you have another compound that you want to put in the rotation, feel free to comment down below. That said, Happy New Year, guys. If you're in LA like I am, stay safe during the fires. And yeah, be safe out there. Adam with Anabolic Climbing. Take care, guys. Signing out.